Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it today. Today I wanted to talk to you about a news release that just came out from the VA, and they're kind of playing catch up. It's not new news. I've already covered it here on this channel for all of you, but in case you missed it, here it is again. But this time it's directly from the VA, which is a different angle because they're the ones that actually matter in this. And I wanted to share it with you. The headline here is Veterans Set to see cost of living increase to their benefits. So now this is directly from the VA. And like I said, I've already covered it, but I'm going to do it again because now it's directly from the VA. So please hit the thumbs up for me, subscribe, share with a friend. Thank you to all the members who have signed up already. I really appreciate all the support and the badges next to your name and the highlights of you as members. Thank you again so much. I appreciate the badges because it helps to show your comments, and a lot of you have a lot of information that is valuable to all of us, including myself, right? Nobody knows it all, so we gotta leverage each other, right? So let's jump into this article. It's a pretty short one. Just wanted to share it with you. So this came out on June 28th, and again, they're a little behind the ball in sharing it, but again, it's from the VA. So on June 14th, 2023, President Joe Biden signed into law the Veterans Compensation Cost of Living Adjustment, COLA, Act of 2023, which directs the Department of Veterans Affairs to provide a cost of living adjustment for veterans benefits in 2024 equal to the COLA applied to Social Security benefits as determined by the Social Security Administration. Now I'm going to stop there for a minute. This happens every year, yes. It's not automatic. That's why everybody talks about it, because it actually has to go through the process. Is it ever going to not happen? Probably not. But the fact that it has to go through this bureaucratic process is ridiculous, at least to me. We shouldn't have to, as veterans, have to go, I hope you make it match Social Security. That's dumb. It should be automatic. And here's the next page of that story. The question, and it kind of comes from some information that came from the Senior Citizens League, argues that COLA adjustments are based on numbers from CPI, which are using the nation's, as a whole, really, data. But seniors are a specific subset that have different spending habits than the greater whole. And often the costs associated are not dropping like everything else. So in other words, the cost for seniors are still higher for the things that they spend money on. So even though inflation may be curbing, it's not curbing for the things that seniors are buying. Therefore, the Senior Citizens League's argument is there should be a different data set used or kind of entwined when calculating COLA for Social Security, since the majority of Social Security recipients are seniors, right? So that's an interesting fact. And then that got me to thinking, well, what about veterans? Are we better off if we were to, one of two things, join Senior Citizens League in their efforts to push that, or have our own calculation, right? Somebody way smarter than me needs to figure that out, but it's worth looking into and it's worth having the conversations about. Because if we join with the Senior Citizens League for a different calculation that would result in a higher COLA, now you got more. You have all the senior citizens and all the veterans working together for the same goal. So there's more power in numbers when it comes to pushing political legislation, right? So with that, let's go ahead and move on now. So moving on a little further in this. Sorry, I'm moving a lot. My knee, my back, my neck, all that. All right. The legislation passed with bipartisan support in the House and Senate is an annual procedure for Congress, but an important one, as it must be accomplished to ensure veterans receive a COLA and that it keeps pace with inflationary costs, which VA benefits will increase. The COLA will affect certain VA benefits, including but not limited to disability compensation, clothing allowance, and dependency and indemnity compensation for spouses and children. Important. While the exact amount of next year's adjustment has not been determined, because that will happen in July, August, and September's numbers, CPI numbers, and then it will be around the middle of October when they actually come up with a figure. It is based on the Consumer Price Index, CPI. The CPI measures the average change in prices of goods and services to preceding years and is used by SSA to determine the annual COLA, which by law now applies to VA benefits as well. The last adjustment in January 2023, which veterans are currently receiving, saw an 8.7% increase following a second year of high inflation. When can veterans expect to see the adjustment? Based on the timelines of previous years, Social Security Administration is expected to announce its 2024 COLA early in the next fiscal year. They're talking about October because it's the federal fiscal year, which begins on October 1st. VA will then set its compensation payment rates to match, and veterans can expect to see the new amount starting in their January 2024 payment. To stay informed on when the COLA is announced and what it will mean for your VA benefits, subscribe to the #VetResources newsletter. And then also, probably most of you are familiar with the SITREP. The SITREP is a YouTube channel /podcast as well, and they will be sharing that as well, I'm sure. They should. All right, so with that, we'll go ahead and look to conclude it there. But look, the bottom line is that COLA will be coming. We don't know what it is. I've been doing every month CPI, kind of a projections on where we think the numbers will fall for any sort of increase, monetary increase in that disability compensation payments, any sort of increase in any sort of money that you are receiving. I'll continue to do that, and especially now that we're moving into these June's numbers will come out next month, but then after that, it's going to be the legit numbers for COLA. So really important stuff, and again, I don't think that they should be having to go through all of this every year. It should just be an automatic thing at a minimum, but who am I? Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you, and remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.